Good morning. Today we are doing our last objective for unit number, I think this is unit 8. Yeah, our last objective for unit 8, PO51. This is a PO, power objective. We have to make sure we are understanding what we are doing. We will be finding the slope of a line given two ordered pairs. So instead of doing the counting on the graph, how many up or down, how many to the right, this time we're going to use a formula. So we're going to see how we can find that slope when we can't even see the line to count it out. So first let's remind ourselves, what is a slope? What does slope mean, Christina? Yeah, the slope is how a line moves across the coordinate plane. Now we need to find a slope formula. So we know from yesterday that it's the change in y over the change in x. So it was that rise over the run. Right? So we're going to use that for two ordered pairs. So when we have two ordered pairs, we could have ordered pair number 1 and ordered pair number 2. So when we have ordered pair number 1, we're going to call it x1 and y1. For ordered pair number 2, we're going to call it x2 and y2. Kind of makes sense, right? First ordered pair, x1, y1. Second ordered pair is going to be x2, y2. Here's the formula, and we have to be really specific with how we write this down. Change in y is on top, so we're going to put our y on top. We're going to do y2 minus y1. Super important that we put the y2 minus y1, because we want that 2 to come first. Underneath it, we're going to go the same order. So it's the change in x, so we know the x's are on the bottom. It's going to be x2 minus x1. So we're going to be looking at that ordered pair, deciding which one was my 1 and which one's my 2. Making sure the y's are always on top, because that's the change in y, the rise, going up or down. Always over the x, the run going across. So it doesn't matter which ordered pair you start with, but just go the same way for x. So if we have this y, this y on top, then this x has to be the first one on the bottom. So they have to match up. So this is an ordered pair, and this is the ordered pair. Also, double check that the y values are in the numerator and the x values are in the denominator. I just went over that. Y is always on top, x always on bottom. Common mistake. People accidentally put in. We're going to be really paying attention to negative numbers. If we end up with a negative on top and a negative on bottom, what's our final slope going to be, Beckett? Why? Careful. That division bar means what, fraction bar means what operation? Divide. So that fraction bar means we're dividing. So if we have a negative divided by a negative, our answer is going to be positive. So if you give me an answer for a slope -5 over -3, it's going to be wrong, because you have to simplify it down to the positive then. Okay, so we have to pay attention to negative numbers. So here's what we are doing today. Let me scroll up. we have four different things we're doing. A, use the points to graph a line. B, find the slope of the line using the graph. And then C, use the formula to find the slope of the line using the points. Show your work. And D, we're going to check our answers. So, in the future, we're just going to have 2 points. Today, we're going to have that graph to double check to make sure that we are doing it correctly. So we graphed and found the slope in yesterday's objective. We're going to do the same thing again today, and then add on the slope formula, finding it with the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Why do you think we're doing it both ways today? Why would I make you do extra work? Why are we doing it both ways? What do you think, Robbie? I like the way you're thinking, but in the future, we're not going to have any graphs or graph paper. So we're phasing out using the graph. But today, we're just learning the formula, and this is a really important formula that you will be using a lot. It's not a one-day formula, right? This will come back and come back and come back. So we're doing it 2 ways because it's that important. Because we really need to make sure we are doing it correctly. So I really appreciate those of us that are not trying to work ahead and are not doing, I don't see doing any writing right now, we're just listening because it's that important. Okay, slope you use all the time, truly, with math. And next unit, we use that math all the time in the future. So these are really important objectives that we're getting to. So we really need to make sure that we understand how to use that formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and we're double checking it with using the graph to make sure we graphed it and found the slope correctly. So we're going to look at this first one. 2, 1. Here's my 2, here's my 1. 3, 5. I'm going to connect them, draw my line. Now I need to find the slope using the graph. So I go up 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going up, so it's positive. I'm going to the right, 1. So my slope I found from the graph is 4 over 1. Now I'm going to show the work using the formula. I'm going to call this my first ordered pair and this my second ordered pair. So I'm going to do 3. Nope, not 3. Why am I not starting with the 3? David?
Because the 3 is an x, you want to start with 5 the y.
The 3 is the x. I want to start with the y. y2 minus y1 goes on top. So y2 would be my 5. y1 is the 1. Then I have x2 is my 3. x1 is my 2. So I need to not do the math in my head, but show my work. Okay, so you're going to show the equation that you used. Then you're going to do the math. 5 minus 1 is 4. 3 minus 2 is 1. Check your answers. Did I get the same slope? If I don't get the same slope, I need to check which one did I do wrong. Did I graph it wrong? Did I count my squares wrong? Or did I mess up with my x's and y's in the formula? Does that make sense? All right, so that's our first page. That's all the work that I want to see. Every piece of it. We're not doing mental math anymore. Now on our second page, we have the same thing with the A, B, C, D. And then, oh, it's all the same. So we're doing all the same thing for all of these. If you want to come over, do a few of them, and say, hey, I want to come over and check, am I doing this correctly? you can come over and check your answers with me. Remember, we made our math packet video yesterday, so it should be finishing up that math packet. I'm gonna be correcting the ones that were turned in yesterday afternoon. Khan Academy, my friend that needs to finish that con that's due for tomorrow. So tomorrow, everybody can start the new con assignments. Okay. Remember, we do have Stations of the Cross that you should be working on memorizing also. They are not due until the middle of April when it's Easter time, that Holy Thursday before Easter. But remember to be working on them so we can be plugging away on that. If you are watching this at home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.